Paddy the Baddy plans to beat up Justin Gaethje. I'm sure that doesn't come as a surprise to you. Paddy the Baddy believes he can beat Justin Gaethje up on the feet. That might come as a surprise to you. Paddy the Baddy says that he's a weird fighter. He knows he's a weird fighter, and you can't bring anybody into training camp to mimic him, that he wrestles weird and he grapples weird. Do you see Paddy that way? I don't see Paddy that way. That's not an insult. It wouldn't be a compliment if he was weird. It's not an insult that he's not weird. I don't see him that way. I don't see him as a stranger. It makes me want to go back and rewatch some Paddy fights and see what weird things did he do. And there are weird guys. Weird just meaning unique. Wonder Boy's got an extremely weird style. Lyoto Machida had a very unique style. Paddy the Baddy believes that he has a weird and unique style, and I'm just wondering where. Like, there's been guys that we've seen that have come along on the ground. Over time, there was something that got introduced to us known as the rubber guard. But I don't see that from Paddy. I don't see a weirdness. I don't see something that Gaethje isn't familiar with or that he hasn't dealt with before. Now, is it a good idea to stand up with Justin Gaethje if you're Paddy Pimblett? So many people say no. But I'm not certain that we know that answer is no. I'm not certain. I find it lazy. If I'm to use a word, I'll use the word lazy. I find it lazy when a fight analyst reverts back to 1993 and starts talking about a stand-up guy versus a ground guy. I just don't know that that's true with anybody. I don't know if there's anyone on the roster that you could match up with anybody else on the roster. And you could say, okay, if it's stand-up, for sure, this athlete's going to win. If it goes to the ground, for sure, this athlete's going to win. I don't know if it's like that anymore. I mean, the sport of MMA is so incredibly evolved. I would not have thought that Max Holloway standing with Justin Gaethje would have been a prosperous idea. And I know that that was popular opinion. The majority of you were with me at that time. And it wasn't just who was a better boxer or the X's and O's. It also had to do with a size factor. Max being a 45-pounder, moving up to Gaethje, a big 55-pounder. I mean, I'm just sharing for you. We don't know as much as we think. And it feels like every Saturday we get reminded of that, but then when the weekdays, right, every weekend we get reminded of that, and then during the weekdays we completely forget it. I don't know that I think that Paddy's weird. I don't know that he has a style with his takedowns or on the ground that is wildly unique. He's really good. He's really good at what he does. But is he strange? Is he awkward? Is that something that Gaethje has to deal with just by example? Does Gaethje have to worry about getting into shape and getting down to weight and getting his left and right hand sharp and stretching his body and sleeping well and knowing how to do jiu-jitsu and sharpening up his double and his takedown, and he's got to deal with this guy that's really awkward and weird? I don't think so. I don't see it that way. Can Paddy strike with Justin? Probably. We don't have evidence of that. Like we don't have some great fight or two or three that ended up stand-up battles that Paddy ended up winning or dominating, but there is times in fights when something happens that you didn't expect would happen. That's where things can unravel very quickly. Maybe you're not overly confident you can win the fight, but you do believe that you can get a takedown when you need one. And you go out there and all of a sudden this guy who's not known for great wrestling or not known for great takedown defense, all of a sudden he's stopping your best attacks. And now you're stuck on your feet, which is not what you envisioned happening. And I have seen moments of rounds. I've even seen entire rounds where at the conclusion the judges have gone against Paddy and they were largely stand-up battles. However, right, I mean, the Gordon fight just comes to mind. We're getting a takedown was at a premium. Find out that Paddy's got a hurt knee, but that's all subsequent. It doesn't change the fact that takedowns were at a premium. It doesn't change the fact that Paddy thought he could go out and get on top of a guy, and it didn't happen, and he ends up stuck on his feet, and you, the viewers, saw him having a hard time. But Paddy's a 2-1 favorite. He's a 2-1 favorite. So people, when they're partying with their money, seem to think that he can find that takedown. Or that if he gets stuck on his feet with Justin Gaethje, that it's not as problematic as some of the media says. But Paddy called himself weird, called his own style weird, implying that he was unique. Went as far as to say that Justin Gaethje could not find a training partner to replicate or mimic him. Is that true? Is that how the community views Paddy? Does he have a unique, awkward style? Because, see, I think that Justin does. Justin's a Division I All-American who, off my memory, has never tried to take somebody down. If Gaethje tried to take somebody down, I don't remember it. That's unique. That's odd. Justin Gaethje is a master grappler, but he only uses the grappling defensively. He prefers to stay on his feet. He prefers to throw lefts and right hands. When he throws a kick, he likes to throw a low kick, more towards your calf. That's awkward. That's unique. That's unusual. Paddy sees his own style as being weird. I don't know what weird about it. It seems very straightforward to me. What is it that I'm missing?